is on horizontal right now, just out of curiosity. Before I get going any farther, just out of curiosity, because I don't know if it's going to be working or not. There's been a lot of issues. I'm not seeing anything about the screen. Oh, you don't have to say anything about the screen. If it's not working, I want you to say something. So that obviously means there's something not working properly. The fact you said that. So if there's an issue, you know, we can't do what we got to do, maybe. But I think it's working this time. If there's an issue, you know. I think it's working this time, but okay, it's working fine. I felt like it was working fine because it set up the way it was supposed to this time. But no, crazy pull. Whenever it sets up like that, always tell me. Always tell me. Otherwise, I won't know. So at least now it's running the way it's supposed to. I just had to give YouTube time to reset. And usually if I wait about 45 minutes, I notice it'll work. So just if you ever see it, don't be afraid to say it, Crazy Pole. So I do respect the fact that you said it. So let's get back to what I was talking about what, an hour ago or so. Yes, Jeremy, thank you. Horizontal indeed. I'm so happy about that. So we've got a few good things going on. Like, this is good. I did put XRP SUPERCYCLE question mark, and that's going to entail what's actually going on right now and what we're going to talk about and what we're going to discuss, which I do need to bring back Brad Garlinghouse in here as well, because something with the European Central Bank is very interesting about what happened. And not because they decided to not, or they decided to cut rates, which the U.S. will do that here shortly again. But we have a little agenda going on in the USA. That's why they couldn't raise rates yet. But we got something to talk about here, which I find very, very interesting. Where's this at? He posted it like 6 hours ago. Where'd it go? That post is gone? I literally had it up here. Yeah, where's the post? It should be 7 hours ago now. There was a post from 6 hours ago, and it talked about the European Central Bank. That is very interesting. But anyhow, the European Central Bank, they did lower rates. But there was a picture with Brad Garlinghouse. It could be fake, who knows. But he was sitting at the table with somebody important. But it announced that, yeah, I don't know what's going on, why it's not on here anymore. But it showed that how the European Central Bank is not interested in using Bitcoin. So the ECB won't have Bitcoin reserve. So the story is they won't have a Bitcoin reserve, but then here we go. I don't know who Crypto Barbie is, but at least she's got this up here. So I was hoping somebody would have it. So the ECB president, Christine Lagarde, said that she is confident Bitcoin won't enter a reserve in the EU. And I seen this. That's what I was referencing. So whoever Crypto Barbie is, thank you for at least having this. Bye-bye Bitcoin, hello XRP. Brad Garlinghouse at the same table with her, trust the plan. So that's the money shot right there. So Brad Garlinghouse has not just been with the president of the United States, with his lawyer. Now he's with essentially their Fed president in the European zone, the Eurozone. But it's pretty interesting. So not just that, but that's something that I wanted to make sure to at least talk about, the fact that he was at the table with her. And like I said, who knows if that's true or not. If that's, but that seems like a real picture to me. I've seen it in multiple places. And then the other thing outside of the charts, even though we should be very excited about the charts, Grayscale seeks SEC approval to convert XRP Trust into exchange-traded fund, which is fascinating. Just fascinating. Now, I don't know if anybody's seen any news today about the Ripple versus SEC meeting today, the closed-door meeting. I don't think anything's come out. But if anybody has anything to point us down to, oh, what is that? Hold on. Jeremy, hey everyone, my wife's 14-year-old dog might be dying. If you pray, can you please? Oh, definitely say a prayer for the, especially if your dog's passing for a safe passing and closure. That's tough. I still don't have a dog after my 18-year-old Chihuahua passed away some, I don't know, like 10 years, 12 years ago now. That's tough. Make sure your wife's doing okay, my friend. Make sure that your wife's doing okay. You know, crypto can wait. That's tough. That is tough. But yeah, our prayers are with you, my friend. We know when more than one of us say the Lord's name or think of the Lord or speak of the Lord, God becomes present in our workings and our discussion in our community. But if anybody's seen any updates here when it comes to Ripple versus SEC, I don't see anything about the closed door meeting as I've been monitoring it today. So if anybody else sees anything, let me know. But I do want to read through the Grayscale stuff. And then obviously, if anybody's got anything to say about the European Central Bank, not about lowering the rates, but the fact that Christine Lagarde said that she's confident they won't honor a reserve in the EU Bitcoin. And the fact Brad Garlinghouse seems to be with her, I mean, I don't know. Things are starting to add up. Things are starting to add up. So, but right now, XRP, we've got a very critical moment here. If we can push past $3.19, we're going to cook. We'll cook. XRP's price will cook here up to about 370. Seems like it's lining up. We just have to get up over this. Well, actually, it's not 319 anymore, is it? Well, I don't know why I said 319 in my title. Oh, it's come down, though. It used to be about $3. Somebody said $3.22, I said yesterday or the day before. That is absolutely true because every day it comes down this downtrending resistance. So it's actually not $3.19 anymore. It's $3.15, roughly. So once we get over that, that's when we can have some big movement. Some big movement. You know, it's all speculation, though, because technically it might even be lower than that now. It comes down. We might actually be pushing over it. If I look at it like that in the daily, because I'm looking at that first one as just kind of like a, man, this is interesting. So if you go from here, yeah, see, it's just outside. I know what I did. Take the wick here, and then kind of call that second one an overextension right here where it came through. So basically, I'm looking at it this way. So we got the resistance, came back down to support, came back up to resistance here on that front, came back down and then resisted again. So I'm pulling it through right here, consolidated back down through support, created the channel, and then back up to resistance, back down to support. And now this is confirming almost this pattern formation we set up like this now. So yeah, there's a channel, but it could be cutting back. That's the interesting thing. With the V-shaped recovery, that very well could have been a liquidity grab before a further move up. And now if we can break, and it's lower than 315, like we're right on the cusp here. It's just we're starting to reverse a little bit to start this 4-hour candle. But $3.13, yeah, so we're on the cusp here. We just need to get over that, and then we're going to cook. We'll cook up to about 370. I mean, there's nothing really in between. If we can just break out and hold this, there's definitely something here. Joseph, welcome in along with Jennifer Kupiak, both in the house today. Appreciate both of you being in Tom's Army as well. Brother and sister in the house. It's amazing. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All the Bollinger Bands are extremely tight. They definitely are. I wonder if I could find somebody who talks about the Bollinger Bands on here. I think that would be fascinating. That's actually a good it's actually a good observation. I mean, it's been rather tight here for a little bit. XP on verge of all-time. Ooh, yeah. Good. You don't often find good technicals, but the fact. So we'll talk about this. XP on the verge of all-time high breakout per Bollinger Bands. Gensler's next move revealed after SEC exit. 18.24 trillion Shiba Inu in 24 hours. Ooh, so some Shiba Inu movement. So major price, we'll look at the one from probably 9 hours ago. XRP's 50%. Yeah, we'll look at, I'm trying to find the most recent one with the Bollinger Bands. 9 hours ago was pretty good, though. So we'll take a look at that after. Real quick while we're on this page, the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. Now, I'm having an interesting time with this because on a lot of major exchanges, it says it's at like 70 right now. What's going on with that? Is everybody else seeing the Crypto Fear and Greed at 54? Am I seeing something wrong? Like, is it not here right now and this is behind? I'm just curious because when I go on some of the exchanges, like, it'll show it at like 70. And other people are saying in their analysis it's at like 70 or 75. And I'm not seeing that on here. Yep. Yeah, HOTCOIN says 72. I seen that as well. But I also seen some other influencers say it's at 70. Like the Guru said 72, but he's on Bybit, and that's what I'm assuming it says there. But that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know. Why are the exchange, like on HotCoin right now, it says 76, but on CoinMarketCap, why is it saying 54? Like something ain't adding up here. Like doesn't seem right. Yeah, like on here it says 76. That's a big difference. This is the one I usually use, but I had it on CoinMarketCap because that's what a lot of people always say. But for some reason, CoinMarketCap says 54, while everything else is saying 76. I'm not exactly sure what the reasoning for this is. If somebody could help me out with that, I would love to know. Like, this is saying 76. Is that just on Bitcoin for this one? Is this just a Bitcoin fear and greed? It's just so high. Why? Or why is it so low? Is this even... That's interesting. That is interesting. Altcoin season, this is at 46 out of 100. Yeah, so if it's just Bitcoin on this one, that makes sense. So if everybody's talking about the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, that makes sense. That would make sense. But as far as, I don't know. That's the problem here. Like, so much stuff is coming back just... Yeah, CoinGlass has it at 76 as well. Like, what is going on with CoinMarketCap? Like, if everything else is saying 76... That's true. That's a good point. That's why I like CoinMarketCap. It's usually more consistent. Bitcoin dominance at 58.2. ETF outflows. Or net flows. Spot market, 3.57 trillion. Altcoin season index is only at 46, which seems fair. 50. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the market. So anyhow, as we touch base here, I know I went around in a quick circle right there because there was a lot of stuff to talk about. Like, no doubt about it. We had a lot of stuff to talk about. But now we need to look at some of the charts. We'll look at some of the charts here. The cool thing today is if you own Jasmy, before the flip of the clock, Jasmy was up over 30%. So that was awesome to see. We had other things that were up. I finally finished my purchasing yesterday of, where's it at? T-Fuel, which that's one that I have to talk about. Finally finished this. And I was waiting until I got down to almost this 5.4 level But it came within the 5% margin rule that I have. So as long as it comes within 5%, I'll buy it. And then if it comes all the way back down, I'll grab a little bit more than I desired. But I've been working on it with these drops. And I managed to pick up the 100,000 of Theta Fuel. Like, I don't have Theta, but I have Theta Fuel, and I think it's an important one. But, you know. But Jasmy real quick. That's just one that I wanted to remember that actually finished that Vendetta. So with Jasmy, the best I could come up with when I've been watching this is something like, I think I had it something like this right here. I don't know why that's off, but it was like this. And now that we are trying to break out here, we're up at the resistance. If we break out of this, 4.6 cents is the next move. So, but I was happy to see Jasmy at a 30% move. It's been a while since you've seen any kind of upward volatility of that significance in that pattern. Why are you not getting alerts from my lives? I don't think really anybody does. YouTube just doesn't alert for my content. Like, it's not just the lives, it's also the updates. The only thing I would tell you is on that bell notification, turn it to off and then turn it back to all. Or unfollow and refollow my channel. But that's a common theme that I've heard, you know, since I started this. Now let me ask you a question. I used to do this after my live started, so you guys tell me if this, if you get an alert. Because before I used to have to do this, and then sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. Let me go to my live real quick. It's just so weird how it works, honestly. I don't know why. Come in, everyone. Whoops. Now we got to see if it'll even pull up live. Oh, here we go. So sometimes it would work if I would do this. Then I just want everybody to tell me if you get any kind of alert real quick. I'll just send it like this. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it would work. So I sent that. So just let me know if that works. And then if it does, you know, in the future, I'll just do that when I start. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so if that works, I'll just have to remember to do it like that. I got 2 alerts. Excellent. I get it before the stream starts. It says the recording has been deleted once it starts, then doesn't pop up for another 10 minutes. Just have to keep... No, sometimes when that happens, that's because I'm trying to set up my live and it won't actually go live. I had a big issue today when I was trying to go live. That's not your fault. That's just YouTube being finicky. But yeah, that's what ends up happening. So at least that works. So I'll make a note to myself. Note to myself. Okay. But thank you for the $19. I got to go back to this for 1 second. I want to put my phone down. $19.99 donation. John, thank you so much for that. Not only being in Tom's Army for over a year at the I Told You So badge, but also with the $19.99 donation. I believe that's the first donation of the night, and I really, really appreciate that. VELO. I love VELO. I have over 100,000 VELO. It was under a penny when I got it, but I think it's very strong. I think it's very undervalued, but I just don't know if it's going to hold this broadening, because I think it's in a little broadening wedge possibly here from the V shape. Now, you could look at it slightly different if you want to bring it like this and then try to come through, but it seems like, whoops, it seems like to me from here, it created like a broadening wedge. We came down to the V, and then it looks like it has a little bit of a broadening wedge here within the pattern formation. But it's in time, I see this going way up. Way, way up. I don't even think we're scratching the surface yet. Marco, thank you so much for the $6.99 donation. And also being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Blessings. Yes, thank you for that, Robert. Jasmy. I just went over Jasmy, but I'll go back to the chart real quick after, since you weren't here when I talked about it. But it looks like we're in a small broadening wedge. I don't know what's going on with that support structure, why it went way down there. But it could be because when I was on my phone, I accidentally hit the button. But anyhow, we're stuck in this little channel, and eventually it's going to break. We had a fake out once over the top, but we created this little bit of a broadening wedge. And if it's ready to push back up, even if it's bearish, you'd have a pushback up near that 3.5 cent mark. Now, if it does break down, you want to hold this channel at all costs. You could even ride this down right into the channel support. But at some point, this is going to break up out of here. And your first layer breakout would be around that 6 cents. But in time, I think it's got a huge move that's going to end up coming here with VELO. It's rounding the bottom, and I think the first cup is all the way up here. But then overall, I mean, you've got a lot. It starts up here where I'm really aiming at. This 14.3 cents. That's where I think we're going to end up creating a massive cup in time. And there's bigger ones, but I think that's the first significant one. Actually, the first significant one might be around 10 cents. But there's massive implications here when we break out of this. And it's not going to be as cheap as where it's at right now. So I have high hopes for VELO. Very, very high hopes on VELO. More than hopes. I think VELO's got a big money in store. Jasmy, I know somebody missed it. They're in here. I thought it was nice. We had a 30% move. Jasmy was one that I talked about as, hey, I know it's a Chinese company, but so many people have talked about it in my audience that it forced me to do research. And it seems like a power play over on the Japan or China side. Now, in the USA, how big of a move is it going to be for us? I don't know. Taxes might be a little bit different. But it seems like, there's not a sure bet. But it seems like a reasonable opportunity, especially for the price point it was at, especially 30% ago. It was down at the bottom of the support structure, bounced out of it. Now we got to get over this resistance at 3.25 cents. And then once we do, we'll have our first target at 4.6. But I got them all the way up to 12 cents that I think it's going to play out in time. It's going to go higher than that, I think. It's just it's finishing off this first cup and handle. Like we're building a cup and handle right now, which is freaking amazing. It's kind of gone unnoticed, I'm sure. But you had a nice cup, and now it's building this handle through. Once it bounces out, you know, you've got a pretty nice short-term target. And once you understand the cup and handle, we're projecting, obviously, for when it breaks out. But then, you know, that gets you all the way up here. That's over 9 cents. So that would be, let's say this is a cup and handle. That would get you up to 9 cents. So, I mean, that's a 200% move just from here. So, a lot of opportunity there. XRP, is he eating, Julie? A snack?
Yeah, I was going to feed him, but then he got mad at me. And he came up first thing.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
No, I'm not surprised. Sometimes he does it. Yeah, inverted head and shoulders are absolutely looking to rip. We've got them all across the market right now. All across the market, including XRP. Well, XRP is not the same, but we've got massive patterns that are still building. It sucks because I can't really say anything else about XRP until it starts pushing out of here. It's right on the cusp, like we said to start. It just, in the 4-hourly, it started looking a little bearish initially. In the 2 hours, kind of a little reversal here, but we'll see how it pulls up. There's still an hour left. So there's still a lot to be determined here. Well, like DGB's over 1.1 cent now. It actually started breaking down here, and then it pulled back through. So that's actually a good sign here for DGB. It's breaking outside of its long-term consolidation and then expansion. It was in like this descending wedge, which looks like a very bullish consolidation. It looks like it's making a short-term cup as well, but this looks like it wants to break out of here and then push to the resistance right up here at about 122. And then if it breaks out of this, you're talking about a move up near 2.2 cents. But DGB has eyes for that 4 cent level. It really does. If this breaks out, you're looking at that 4 cent level pretty easily. So we're in a great spot right now. I said a couple days ago that even yesterday when we were doing the live, before we had the rally, actually it was 2 days ago, we talked about how all this stuff and all these distractions and all the possibilities of a possible top or hangman. And then we said, what did we say during it? This all seems like bullshit. They're going to have to force me out of it because I'm not selling shit. And I said, I'm going to expand if I get the opportunity, which I did in certain things, as you know. especially with Theta Fuel. And then here we are a couple days later, and now Jasmy went up 30%. We've got across the board, like XLM was up 10%. Yet H-bar was up. All of our stuff was up. But DGB looks like it's getting ready to rip here soon. It does. Now, like I said, maybe they don't play out. Maybe this is just all for show. Maybe we get heartbroken. But as far as it looks right now, this looks like an excellent setup. XLM looks excellent. That's why we bought 10,000 more at 30. I don't remember what it was at that day. We had that dive, remember? And I said, maybe this would be the time. I think it was down at 37. Somebody else bought it with me. This might be the first time. First time in a while I've mentioned Theta Fuel. I used to talk about it all the time, and I showed my buy zones if it ever got back there. And it finally got there. It finally got within the range, and I did what I want to do with it, and I had a nice setup fund for it, and I took the plunge. I can't deny it. I took the plunge here, and it's not far out from where I took the plunge. We had this when it did this and went. Phew, I sat here yesterday and I was like, oh my God. And I talked about how I bought dips yesterday. I just didn't talk about Theta Fuel. But I am now because it's in the same area. So if I wait to talk about it, then but I bought 100,000 tokens. So, and I had two areas where I thought I could go to 5.4. I think it's going to be harder to get to 4.3. But it was within the 5% margin. So when it's within 5% of my buy zone, I have no problem buying it. And then if it comes all the way down, I'll just buy a couple bit more. Maybe buy another 10,000 or something. 10,000 tokens, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, Theta Fuel, I'm a big fan. I know Sean Crowther's my main man from Maine. Likes Theta and Theta Fuel. I know. Frankie, Jasmy was so far overdue. I'm very happy to see that. A 30% move corrects everything it just did, and it came down and touched that beautiful support. Sad apart, you bought XLM with me. What was XLM's price? Was it 37, 38 when we did that? I know it was right. I remember it came down and touched this downtrend. I can't remember if it was below the downtrend here or if it was in here. Please talk a little. What the hell is MXC? Are you talking about Mexi? I will buy more Theta Fuel before it hits. I know. Man. I really, I love Theta Fuel. You know my feelings on it from years ago, Sean. And I talked about a setup where if it ever came back within these ranges, and I personally thought I missed it. Because Theta Fuel went from my buy range all the way up to almost 10 cents here in the not so distant past. And fortunately, it came back down. And here's the truth, the way it played out. And I just seen a beautiful donation that I'll get to in a second. Thank you so much for that. Wow. But I watched it when it first went up here. I watched it go all the way up here to 10 cents. And I said, if it ever comes within, I have a 5% margin for error. Gardito, thank you so much for the $19.99 donation and also being in Tom's Army for over a year. Thanks as always. Come on, peeps. Smash the like button. Geesh, it's not that hard. That's not what she said. That's not what she said. Well, I mean, maybe. But yeah, like he's saying, you don't want to be deflated. You want to inflate the likes. But, oh yeah, T-Fuel, once it breaks out, it's over. But what I did, and I almost cost myself, when it came down right here because I'm an idiot, back in December, I watched it go to 5.8 cents. And this is the irony. Watch this. Because I wanted to wait for it to go to 5.1. I watched it come all the way from 10 cents, cut in half, and then I was not willing to buy it because it was at 5.7, 5.8. And yeah, that was a 13% margin, but I could have bought it right down to there. So then I watched it go up here, and I'm sitting here going, oh, son of a bitch. When I got back up to 10, because I thought it was getting ready to break out. Then when it formed back down, I'm like, okay, now if it gets within that, I'm like, I'm going to look at it serious. So then what do? I did the same thing. I watched it come right here. 5.8, I do nothing. Because I'm like, oh, I'm going to wait for it to go here. Then it comes back up to 6.6, and then I almost bought it. Then I said, well, if you're too stupid to buy it here, you can't buy it here. Right when it dropped down here, this was yesterday, think it was like 5.8. I said, I don't even care. It's within 5.5% of the 5.3. I got lucky because I could have bought it at the exact same prices right here, but I'm waiting for it to hit the uptrend when all it can do is it could consolidate out and hit the uptrend. And that's exactly what's happening. And now the uptrend is at 5.4 instead of down at 5.0. That's a big difference. So I said, not this time. If it breaks all the way down to the pattern, I know where it's going. And that's the way it goes. Tom, you need a crypto account for donations. Why share with YouTube? That is true. You are probably right about that. You know what? Just for you, tomorrow when I come on, I will have a pinned comment if you want to donate in crypto. How about that? How about that? But yeah, I can do that for sure. I know I don't have a way on my app right now. I used to. I don't know why I don't have it on there anymore. But yeah, a lot of things that I'm happy about. Any plans on shorting XRP or any other crypto on the way down? I don't usually like to short the market, not because I don't think we could be successful at it, but because whenever I start shorting something, I always look at the market different. Now I'm always finding a reason for it to go down, and when I'm trying to accumulate into a utility token run, it takes my focus away on my actual accumulation. Like if I was trying to shorten spots, I wouldn't have paid attention to T Fuel or XLR or some of these other ones when they got to their ranges, or Canto at the time. There's just so many I could name over and over. Like how we bought a little more XLM. Not that it's gone really anywhere yet, but I had bought 20,000 XLM at 8 cents, and then I was willing to buy 10,000 more. I think it was 38. It's gone about 9% from there, but only because it's got that big bull flag. And I had already bought 10,000 more algo in this range. I think it was at 36, 35, something like that. But I bought the 10,000 more algo to get the 30,000. And I had bought algo, you'd have to cut it more than in half from here. I think it was like 14 the last time we bought it before that. So, I see big things setting up. That's a massive bull flag, or at least that's a big pole there. And when it breaks out, you're going to have the measurement of that pole to breach the distance. That's going to bring it up near 3.7, or it's got to be close to $2 with that move. $1.50 probably. No, that's not true. 75, 80 cents in the beginning. And then if it breaks out, then it can get into that mid $1 range. But I mean, you've got a few of them like this, and I keep feeling like I'm beating a dead horse, but like XRP's breaking out of that. So the pole is not already completed yet. So I don't see this as being done. XLM's not even started the completion of this yet because it hasn't even broke out of the pole setup. Like this is the flag part of the pole. This is craziness. Man, there's so much stuff going on. Yeah, God bless the crash victims indeed, but that was by no accident. I don't want to talk a lot about that, but that is clearly not by accident. So I'm not going to say anything because I know that's a quick way to get banned off of YouTube. I'll keep my functional thoughts to myself. XDC's up 2.31%, which if you look at XDC, and this is what I'm trying to say, look at XLM, look where XRP's at, look where XDC's. Everybody thinks XDC's behind. If I'm being honest with you, XDC's ahead of XRP and XLM. I know it sounds crazy, but on this particular part of the breakout, XDC is the worst value, it appears, unless it creates another formation out of the three. XLM's easily far and away the best value out of the three right now. If you don't own any of the three, based on that fundamental setup, Anti-Communist said, Jasmy, I took your advice, bought the dip. Excellent. Yeah, and that was a nice surge that you just got here. 30 or 40% already. Wow. It's a huge move that it already had today. I know some people did take that. Remember, I debated, hey, it's a Chinese company. Should I sell it? And I said, no, there's too much potential here. Don't care if it's a Chinese company. Too many of my friends from that side of the world talk about how, like, that's like the Bitcoin of China or Japan or Southeast Asia. It's pretty crazy. I know you've probably talked about it. many times. What are your price targets? Sell points for XLM. That I don't know, because I don't know where it's going to end up in discovery. I do know that we have a massive inverse head and shoulders on XLM. I do know we're breaking out of that channel pattern that has a massive flag. And this is what you're seeing. This entire consolidation is what you're seeing at the back end of the all-time chart, FYI. This is what you're seeing at the back end of it. Yeah, Japan's Bitcoin. Thank you, anti-communist. That's it. Jasmy was way overdue. Yeah, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to be holding that for a very long time, because at the prices they're at, I would like to still be holding them like I am with XRP with upside potential, but already be at 10x or 9x. Like with XRP, we're at like 9x, and we've got a bunch of upside potential still. That's where I want to be with Jasmy and IOTX and VELO and IOTA and Algo and XLM. XDC is the same in a sense. It's just I'm looking at where are they looking to break out from here. Like XDC, look how much it's already broken out of this pattern. And then I'm telling you, XLM is so I don't know the last time, if ever, I've been doing this, and I've been doing this almost 4 years now. And March 28th of this year will be my 4-year anniversary on YouTube. Still honored to say I've never missed a day. I take that with pride, especially the longer that streak gets. But I've never been able to talk about a pattern that looked like that. We literally watched this happen in real time. Up until November, that didn't look like that. So if you want to talk about a long, drawn-out consolidation, everybody thinks we've been in a long... It's only been 2 months. It hasn't been long. We saw... that's the beauty of it. I talked long ago about traders aren't going to fare as well here, because they're going to be buying and selling, buying and selling. Just go look at the guru. I said it, I love the guru. But 2 days ago, when he sold all of his Bitcoin and he bought Ethereum... and then he was down 45,000 on his trade and said, oh, shit, I'm going to close it because of a small rising wedge. Even though the larger channel showed a breakout of a symmetrical triangle, which there's no reason to be selling 1 Bitcoin. 2 Ethereum was essentially in the same type of setup. Just it was slightly different, but it wasn't at a sell point. If anything, you should have been picking up more. I know, Nick, and that's a decision I'm trying to make with myself right now with the XDC. Because if I sell XDC, I could easily clear at least another 10,000 XLM. But then I look at it and it's like, do I buy XLM at 42 cents? And this is my dilemma. Would I buy XLM at 42 cents, having 30,000 of them, when its max high is what? In its recent past, what did XLM hit? 80-something cents? And its all-time highs maybe 90 cents? I can't remember. 90-something? 80? Oh my God. So, if its all-time highs is at 80 cents, and I'm targeting $1.17 on this when it finishes this, and then much more, make no mistake about it. I've already talked about this in the past, and let me show you. I might as well show everybody who doesn't know, and I know we're talking about a lot of time on XLM today, but I'm XRP future millionaire with the side bet on XLM and future Digibyte OG. So, and I've been very dedicated to talking about the ones that I like. I don't know, maybe we create some kind of handle after, right? I don't know. But I'm not even care about that part. Let's say we come up to the cup. We make we make the cup. And this is being less than generous because I didn't measure the entire move down. So it's going to be higher than this in any regard. But that puts us at $1.45. So from where we're at right now, and this would put us absolutely in discovery. Absolutely in discovery. And it'd be pretty hectic. That's a 245% move. Now, I asked myself, is that the better move? And I've already bought 10,000 more of each algo. Well, actually 11,100 algo. Because of Testicular Tuesdays, yeah. Because you have to have the fortitude right now to be buying into some of the deals. But algo, what's the better deal? Is it XLM or algo, knowing that it's got the Hank Hill pattern? If you ever watch Hank Hill with his, well, you'd have to know his ass. But that's basically what it's setting up. And then you project. Like, look how far this has to go for I'm just saying, look how far Algo has to go. This is craziness. This is craziness. And then I've already set it up. If it does do this, and this is what XRP we were projecting in the beginning, and we measured out into the future. But now it's Algo. Algo's like just behind XRP's cycle. It's almost, I'm telling you, if this plays out the same, and it should, it's a big time utility token. And you've seen a surge of all-time high volume here on that initial push up, which is a huge indicator and a huge red flag for the shorts. To not short. But if this plays out, you're talking a couple 100% for, right? A couple 100% for XLM from where it's at to our measured move. If this plays out, you've got 1,300% to its measured move. If it just goes to all-time highs, you've got 658%. If it just comes up to the move right here, you've got, I mean, man, Tom, I'm truly amazed that you do your podcast with a smartphone, no sound, stage, no engineer. Yeah, I do it with my tablet. Julie knows, I got nothing. This is just, I just do it as raw as possible because my motto is, yeah, it was it was literally my smartphone before I had the tablet in 21. I literally started it on my phone, and I would do lives from my phone, and the TA looks so much different. But, yeah, it is hard to buy. Listen, guys, that's why I keep saying this. If you didn't buy forget XRP at 260. Forget XRP buying it right now. The hell with XRP. If you missed XRP, it's too late in a sense. You're not buying it after a 10 freaking X, okay? Remember when we had this drawn out? I'm trying to give everybody friendly advice. I've been through this cycle. This is my third time with all of you. And what did I learn the first time? Don't be afraid to buy something that's behind in the cycle. Look at XRP. We had the Hank Hill's ass syndrome here too, right? Flat ass. I guess you could make it boobs here too, some said. But it makes this W. We projected it into the future. And when we looked at it, I said, I know everybody, it looks crazy here. Remember I said this all summer? It looks crazy, but that is what it's showing us. And then I had already measured the move in totality at $6.69 before it ever broke out of the descending wedge. So that's the max target that I can see in this cycle. Now, when you look at the bullish flat ass pattern, yes, Bake, that is right. So when you look at it like this, right? That's what XRP did. When you look at Algo, it is so far behind that same pattern. It's I keep saying, if you missed with XRP, and again, I'm going to say this with Algo, this is so crazy to even think it's going to go that high because of where it's at, but this is what it's showing us. Like, if you missed it, you've got a chance to buy 10,000 Algo for 38.5 cents. That's $3,850. You have a legit chance to do this. Tom operates a Flintstone car as a Lambo. Amazing. You better believe it.
Oh, yeah, your car's practically a Flintstone.
You better believe it.
Now.
Well, he's talking about this. Oh. The way I do my show. I'm like the Flintstones. Bandito, thank you for the $4.99 donation. I really appreciate it. And also been in Tom's Army for over a year. This community is amazing. Aren't they beautiful people, Julie? You need soundstage equipment. Oh, I do.
No,
I
no
do.
room.
But I'm committed to doing this in the most basic way possible so the every man and woman can do what I do. That's why I don't do any of the paid stuff on the Trading View, because everybody can do what they see me do. Another $4.99 donation. Holy smokes. Thank you, Bandito. Yeah, if you don't, I'm not saying you have to spend 10,000 tokens. If you're going to buy 1,000 tokens of Algo, it's $386. But the reason I do it based on 10,000 is because I think it's more likely somebody has that kind of a target instead of like 100,000. That's above my target. Wow, thank you for the $4.99 again, Bandito. Bandito says, hit the like button. Geez, we're doing okay. We got about half. We got half of you hitting the like button, but I do appreciate everybody reminding the audience to hit the like button. I used to focus on that before, but I'd rather focus my time on the beautiful people in my audience because I have a special relationship with this audience, and I'm doing my damnedest to make sure you guys are on the same page as me so we can take advantage of these are once in a lifetime opportunities. IOTA, the same damn thing, except IOTA has been so much higher. And it leads to speculation, like if IOTA does this, and I haven't put this up here for all of you to see, I have this on my phone chart. If we project it into the future and it does the same thing as XRP, I mean, you're talking about a future projection of $13 plus with IOTA. But I mean, just think about that indication. Think about that. And IOTA's only got a minute amount of circulating supply compared to the rest. Does it show you who presses the like button? No, I wish it did. I wish it did. It does not. So does that make sense what I'm trying to show you? I know we're already 40-something minutes into this live. I can't believe it's already been 46 minutes. I may have read that scripture 1 or 2 times, anti-communist. Starting to get on the right side of town, though, right? With the mindset. Somebody may have sent me a scripture of maybe the same one. It may have been you. I'll never tell. You're right about that. You are right about that, anti-communist. 100%. Would you put 100,000 into DGB or Algo? $100,000, Joseph? Now, I may be the most biased person towards DGB on the planet, right? But even as biased as I am, I can see what I'm looking at. DGB, yes, it's got a massive flag right there with the pole that still has to break out. But for where my money's at, God, that's a tough one. Glad I caught some of the live. I got to go in 4 minutes. Oh, Nick, I'm glad you caught some of it too, my friend. I'm glad. Hey, a couple minutes here is, I feel blessed to have you in here. If it was up to me, because of volatility, and most of you probably don't understand DGB, you probably, if you're not familiar and you're going based on just flat utility with the ISO, I don't think you can go wrong with XLM or Algo. However, because of where Algo's been in the past and where I think it's going in the future, I think its price point is higher than XLM. But who really knows? Who really knows? Because they're definitely looking pretty similar in this stretch of the imagination in this phase. I don't think you can go wrong either way. I don't. My gut tells me I would pick Algo out of those 3 questions. Now, if you would have asked me about DGB when it was under a penny and a little bit lower, hell, even now it's cheap. I have 1.2 million DGB, so it's not that I don't trust DGB, believe me. But no, not H-bar. Because look at H-bar, okay? And I'm glad somebody said H-bar. Just hear me out. So with H-bar, and I got to see who sent that donation, because that is generous as well, and I'll be darned if I don't thank everybody who is willing to spend their hard-earned money on my content. It's just... MC Prosperity, thank you for the $20 donation. Says, hey, Tom, let's get rich, everyone. Keep up the great work, Tom. MC Prosperity, thank you so much for not just this $20 donation, but you've been supporting my work for years. You're probably one of the... You may be the single biggest donator to my show. That's me being real. That's me being real. But H-bar, the only reason I wouldn't say go with that at the same time is look at this. If you don't know anything about trading, look at the all-time chart. We had that massive flag, the pole, and now it's breaking out of the pole now. Well, it's already started that move. One could say it's about halfway through that move. Well, when I'm looking at something, I'm trying to see, too, if I haven't invested yet, what is the best opportunity in front of me? Well, XRP is already starting that move as well, but it looks solid as hell, right? VeChain, Looks good. It had a nice 9% move today, and it's got a couple inverted hammer candles, but that pull hasn't started breaking out, so a definite candidate. ZIL, that is one that's putting in 2 back-to-back inverted hammer candles, and ZIL might be a true candidate here, assuming we don't break down. I've seen them before where it looks great. It looks like we're going to have these big breakouts, and then they just fall through. That's why I say, assuming they don't break down. Now, yeah, XLM having a 10% move was a big step in the right direction, obviously. But then you start looking at it. So again, H-bar, already breaking up. I'm just trying to teach you some easy fundamentals here if you have a chart in front of you, and I'm not here. Just go to the all-time. Look how this is breaking out. Look how this hasn't broke out. Look how ZIL hasn't broke out. But maybe it's a little more not tempting with these ones because they don't look as clear as that. But now you go into XLM. That looks pretty damn clear what you're looking at with XLM. Remember, H-bar's already broken out of the initial move that XLM is still consolidating, right? The other one that I see that's just as exciting for me, and that's why I bought over 10,000 more XLM and Algo in these same positions, while obviously XLM's gone up some 10 to 12% or whatever it's been. And Algo's gone up some too, I mean, obviously, but actually not that much. I bought the Algo at like 35 cents the additional, so it's barely gone up, the additional 10,000. But it's also when you look at the chart from like the all-time, look how beautiful that looks with Algo. Now, assuming it doesn't break down, these look very solid. Unless they're trying to literally teabag us on the way out, which I wouldn't put it past the market makers to do that. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough to say it's going to break down. XCN, is it a good buy? It can be. Depends where you buy it. It depends where you buy it. I told everybody earlier I was trying to warn about the top that was forming. But that doesn't mean that it's a local top. It just meant that it might create this inverse head and shoulders. We talked about this the other day. We started with this analysis when it was still way back in the consolidation. So there's a lot of people that made a lot of money off of this one. Now, some of you might have lost a lot of money because of how it's fallen down some 30%. But a lot of money's been made here. And I'm blessed that the community, some of you are making bank with this one because you got to make bank with something. Hey, some of you might not have made it with this one, but you might have made it with another one. Don't be greedy. Let some people have their fun when it's time, and your fun will come when it's supposed to. But sometimes having grace and humility, that means rooting for your fellow human when they're having success. So I'm going to cover this today because I want to make sure anybody who's had extreme success, you can see the possibilities here because it's not done yet. It could be in for a drop because it has a small gap, but I don't think it's done yet. You know, as far as it's hit that point where now you have to be concerned. So yeah, if it comes below this 2.9, that's the first area that you might be like, oh, you know, here, I'll show you. Let me do a real analysis here, and then I got to move on. See, anti-communist growth. I know you know what I'm referring to, and this is a big token that speaks the volume of just a small passage that can make a big fundamental difference in my mindset. And you know what I'm talking about. Because you can see it. I know you can. It's an energy shift. It's very important for me. Coinstar, I need earplugs. That's okay. Not everybody likes me. Member for 13 months. Bandito, thank you so much. Thank you so much for, well, I want to read that. Then I'll thank you. Hey, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Thank you for your 13th month, Bandito. Come on, people, just 4 more super chats to get Tom the 10 he deserves. Some of y'all paying $30 a month for various streaming platforms and don't even watch, but here you are watching for free. Hey, I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you for that. Honestly, that's awesome. Ringstar, thank you for the $4.99 donation. Says, thank you, bro. Been watching since 9/16/24. Around the same time I picked up 1600 XRP at 59 cents. Thank you, bro, for the daily streams and updates. Oh, man, that's awesome. Oh, that is awesome. But yeah, XCN, oh, man, thank you so much for that. And the words, man. Those words, they're like gold. Especially when I see people making money being in the community like that. There's no better feeling. So here, let me set this up because I gotta continue to cover the rest because I'm running out of time, as you guys can tell. If it breaks up, we'll do a conservative breakup from about here. It would be about 6.1 cents. Now, I always like to show the contrarian view just in case. Now, this would be less likely, in my opinion. But there is the small chance because it never backtested. We talked about this before. There is a rather large gap at the beginning of this pattern. And I talked about it the moment it made the rally up. When it never filled the initial jump. Which means, if that's the case, I don't necessarily know if that's a out of the question style move back down because they do like to fill the gaps. So, if it breaks out, excellent opportunity up to 6.1 cents in the short term. However, if it's going to do some gap hunting, I talked about the possible head and shoulders that looked like it could emerge a couple days ago on a right shoulder breakdown. And I said, don't think that's going to happen unless it forces you to think it. But right now it's that moment in time where I seen a lot of questions on this, so I figured I would knock it out. So boom, boom, back around. And if this does swing down and it breaks this, don't be afraid to admit that it's just coming to the FVG and then it should start to trickle itself probably back up in a V shape. There's just too much firepower right now. Well, the volume did come down quite a bit right now. But there is some firepower. You can see the difference in volume. Even now, that's a substantial amount of volume in comparison to what was going on preceding the breakout. So that's a substantial amount of volume. So you can't say the volume's not there. Now, did it come off extremely? Kind of, but that's what you want to see in a downward consolidation. So hopefully that helps. Won't be the last time I talk about it, I promise. Gold, though. How about gold hitting an all-time high here, ladies and gentlemen? Did anybody buy commodities with me during this time? Commodities, oh man. Oh, I'm so happy. B2 gold's up about 3.3% today. Had a good day yesterday too. Fortuna Silver Mine's back over $5, up 8% today after like 5% yesterday. First Majestic over 8% up, almost to $6. I was buying more silver. As you guys know, I bought paper silver just to balance my silver mining stocks. And then, so I did my due diligence there. So I'm very happy to see that. Very happy to see that. It's great to see too, man. Oh, man. Oh, it's okay, John. It's okay. I have not a lot of money either because I put it all into investment style things. Like, I don't have a lot of liquid cash. I mean, I have my crypto Visa debit card that has, I guess that's liquid. $3.20 the high. We are at 310. Yep, unfortunately. VELO, I love VELO. Talked about VELO a couple times in this live. Wow, it's been 58 minutes. I do have to go help Julie because she's feeding our son and I want to be over there. I gotta call this an end here in a minute. But XRP, we're trying to get over $3.13. We need to get over $3.13 right now to start this next move of the breakout. And you want to make sure if we do come back down to this uptrend, we want to make sure we hold 292. Otherwise, we'll come all the way back down to like $2.62 area. We don't really want to do that. And then it could get worse. So let's see how this plays out. Let's see if we can get over this area. And let's just not let our emotions dictate how we're viewing this market. And prepare for both ways. Prepare for good and bad. It's just, like I said, wave 5 hasn't completed. I don't even think it started. We are still not done with this flag or the pulled breakout of this. And most of them haven't even started the breakout to the top side for the second part of the move. So if you're looking to trade crypto, especially in these high times of volatility, BITUNIX is my go-to. They have lowest maker-taker spot and leverage trading fees. It's a no KYC exchange, so you get the freedom and flexibility of trading without having to do a know your customer. You can if you want. But I use that exchange so I can trade off the radar. Same thing with HOTCOIN. They have VELO, IOTA, and XDC on there, so pay attention to that. You can buy IOTA on BITUNIX as well. Crypto.com Visa debit card. There's ways to donate, but honestly, I don't care about any of that. If you want to donate, you can, but that's not how I want you. I want you here so you can learn, so we can make this something special. And honestly, I think we're doing something beautiful here. So I'm going to leave it at that. I want to go help Julie, though. Have a blessed evening, everybody. And I really, really thank each and every one of you for your time, your dedication, and your patience with me. Joseph says at the end of wave 4, I agree with that. Bye, anti-communist, and thank you, everybody. I really